Hey, my name's Eden. I'm a musician and composer from Melbourne, and I wrote a song in under 4 hours, and you're gonna see that process in this video. I actually made this video as a bit of a challenge to myself to see if I could do it, and I wanted to put that challenge to you, so I wrote it up into a PDF, which you can download in the link in the description. If you do, please send me your work so that I can listen to it. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Anyway, here's a snippet from the final piece I made. Have a listen. So yeah, if you like that, stick around. You're gonna see me go through the process of writing this video. It's a bit clunky because I sort of made it haphazardly on a whim on a Monday night when my girlfriend was out. So I thought I'd just whip something up. So yeah, enjoy the video, otherwise do the challenge and let me know how you go. Okay, let's go. So my girlfriend's just gone out for a few hours. I've got about 3 hours to make this video, and I thought I would set myself a bit of a challenge. I've been thinking a little bit about the direction of, of this channel and what I want to do. And I have been thinking a lot about a big challenge that I face in my own journey as a musician, which is finishing music. In particular, I struggle with perfectionism and option paralysis, where often I'm overwhelmed by the choice in terms of how many tracks I should use in my music, or plugins I use, or what instruments I should choose. And sometimes you get lost in the sauce and don't really finish anything. So I've been thinking a lot about this recently, and I've been thinking about, how can I overcome this? How can I make music quickly and put it out there into the world? And I'm convinced that the solution to this is limitation, is putting limitations on the creative process. And well, basically, I'm gonna try and write a song in about 2 hours. And I've set up some creative limitations that's gonna help me write this piece of music. Some parameters, if you like, that will constrain me in this writing process. So here is my little challenge for you and for me as well tonight. So let's start with a premise. The song is going to be based on a drone. And what I mean by that is I'm going to compose a really simple drone, which is based on a single note. Let's just take the note C. I'm going to sustain that note, and then I'm going to build a composition around that. This is actually an improvisation technique that I use sometimes to break creative ruts, where I'll improvise over a drone and come up with some chords and stuff. In fact, I talk about it in this video up here if you're curious more about it. But that's the parameters of this. I'm going to basically base this piece around a single sustained note, which I haven't chosen what that note is yet. What else? Sorry, I'm just reading from my little notes. I'm going to limit myself to 5 tracks total. So 1 track will take up the drone, and then the rest of the last 4 tracks I can use at my discretion to build the piece of music. I'm going to make it around 3 minutes 30 because I feel like that's a kind of standard composition length, and I've got about 2 or 3 hours to do it in, basically until my girlfriend gets home. The last thing is I'm only going to use 1 instrument as well to actually write this piece of music, and that's just behind me. It's this keyboard here, which is all blurry. It's the Casio MT70, which is an 80s keyboard that I really like, and I've used it quite a lot. And it's really simple. It means I'm not chasing different options and ideas. I'm just constrained to 1 single instrument. So yeah, they're my parameters. Follow along at home. If you don't have a Casio MT70, just choose your instrument. Maybe you play guitar, maybe you play piano. Just choose 1 instrument. Limit yourself to 5 tracks. Build your drone. Give yourself half an hour to muck around with, and then 2 hours to build the composition and see where you end up. I'm gonna do it now. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm pretty sure I can, and we'll find out together. So I'm gonna jump straight in because I'm wasting time talking to this camera when I should be writing music. So let's go. Boom. So let's start with the drone, of course. I was gonna pick a note. We're gonna play. I think I want to play like a low note. That's all right. So I might record something like 10, 20 seconds, and then instead of just waiting 3.5 minutes, I'm just gonna literally copy and paste the drone until I hit 3.5 minutes. So let's go. God, this is riveting, absolute riveting stuff here. All right, and let us cut to now me cutting and paste this. Copy pasted it. I've got now a timeline of a drone. That's one track. I'm allowed another 4, remember? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna spend the next sort of 20 odd minutes improvising a bit. So I might set a timer. Let's set a stopwatch for 30 minutes, okay? All right, I've started it already. Look at that. We're counting down. Oh, you can't even see. We're losing time. Okay, I'm just gonna play it and go. Okay, so I've kind of got this little melody thing going. I think I'm going to start with it. You know, I'm just going to go with it. I can't really deliberate. I just got to start. So let's just track it and see how we go. Okay, I'm sort of changing tracks. I can't get too off track here, of course. I have brought the click into it, which I kind of thought I wasn't going to do. I thought I was going to just do a free-form performance, but I kind of think I'm going to bring the click into it. That's kind of right. So I've got this sort of pulsating sound going throughout. That's sort of the basis now of this composition. I've scrapped the initial little bit that I wrote because this is kind of giving it structure. Yeah, look, it's kind of haunted, it's repetitive, but again, it's simple. And I'm a sucker for sort of simplistic, meditative, repetitive, whatever. Repetition, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going for it, you know what I'm saying? In fact, I'm gonna record this little bit now, which is sort of, I'm imagining a bit of crescendo at the end almost, a bit of an intensity. And I've got these like, these intense sort of dissonant notes that I really like that I'm gonna bring into this. So let's just record that. Okay, I like that. Let me turn this off. Battery's about to die. Plug another battery in. Let's keep going. We're at 31 minutes. Let's keep the stopwatch going. Okay, we are 49 minutes into this process. Can you believe it? Song is forming a structure. I sort of took that initial repeating chord progression thing and simplified it with a different sound so that it starts off a bit more simple and then it gets more complex. So we've got a bit of build. Then we've got this sort of dissonance coming in. Again, changing the tones on this keyboard, but keeping the part the same so that it sort of gives us perception of an increase in drama, if you like. And we're gonna do a similar thing with this part, which I'm gonna record now, where I'll record it with a certain tone and then I'll change the tone, but keep the part the same. So let's do that right now. Keep that the same. This instrument's a bit out of tune, and I think each individual, what do you call it? Each individual sound is slightly out of tune with itself, so that doesn't help. But anyway, I'll probably tune it if I need to. I mean, if it's in tune with itself, it doesn't matter. Okay, I've been going for 1 hour and 9 minutes, and I've got the majority of the composition down. I think I've got 4 tracks going. My girlfriend just texted me to say that she's done early, so that means she'll be home in probably half an hour. So look, for now, let me just smash out another 20 minutes worth of work and let us see how far we get before my girlfriend comes home. Lol jokes, none of that happened because my camera audio stopped recording. So although I did actually only spend another 20 minutes on the composition, all of that audio is useless and so is the footage. And I also finished the composition the next morning. I edited it and I mixed it in about an hour. I filmed that process and none of that was recorded either. All the audio was corrupted, so great. So this is a little bit of a retrospective look at what happened. So yeah, I spent about 20 minutes more on the composition, and in that time, I only recorded 3 more small parts. Let me play those parts for you now, and then we'll talk about the editing and the mixing. So this is the first part that I played. And this is the second part. And this is the final part of the composition. After this, I did not record anything else at all. And then the next morning, my work was cancelled, so I thought, well, I'd take the opportunity to finish the piece. By that point, I'd spent about 2 hours writing the song. Now I wanted to edit and mix it in a really short amount of time. So I set myself about an hour to do that. It took me about half an hour to edit the song. And what I mean is to time align certain parts that I didn't play very well. I might play a sort of sped up version of the editing process. Actually, fortunately, my screen recorder recorded everything, so I've got proof if anyone's dubious about whether or not I actually did this in this amount of time, but I did. So I edited this in about half an hour, just time aligning things, making sure that everything sort of falls roughly on the grid, not so much that it's really tight, but just enough that it sounds like it's natural and that it's played by a human and that it's distinguishable and not just a bunch of slop. So I edited it for about half an hour and then I went on to mixing. I might actually just open up the session so that you can see what I did. So this is how it ends up. We look like this, okay? And you'll see all of these, what we call automation lines, which is basically me just affecting the different parameters. So the green ones are the volume, the orange ones are the panning, so making your left or right or in the center or somewhere in between. And then some of the other ones are the different mixing plugins that I've used. So this is an EQ, for example, that I've just done a bit of work on. This pink line here is a distortion plugin. So I increase the distortion and it creates this real intense effect. It's really simple. So on the master bus, I've got an EQ, which actually doesn't do anything. It's only just the automated part just here. Same with the distortion plugin. It only activates around 3/4 of the way through and then there's nothing else. Then it's basically just some reverb and EQs on the rest of the track, on the rest of the tracks. So yeah, EQ, this is a reverb. I like to use different reverbs on different tracks only because it creates some separation between the parts, but there's no reason to use different reverbs. This is a delay plugin actually, there's no EQ on this one, and there's only delay on this one and a bit of noise reduction. I had some clicks in the performance which I wanted to remove. That's it, it's really simple. I don't have any compression except for the limiter on the master bus, which is just bringing it up to sort of the volume that you might expect of like streaming level volume basically. But I'm not using any compression, which you might use if you had drums or something, or parts that were super dynamic, but I didn't need it. So yeah, that's it. Just to prove to you that I didn't take longer than I said. Oh yeah, this is the finishing point right here, 1 hour 13. So I screen recorded, like I said. There's an extra 34 minutes here on this video, but I just forgot to turn the screen recorder off. It's just blank, nothing happens. This is just me editing. I think I finished it at about the 30-minute mark. That's the point at which I finished it. That's what it looked like when I edited it. And then I started mixing it, which you'll start to see here. And I finished that around 1 hour 12, 1 hour 13. And then actually I came back 20 minutes later, which I didn't record. Not 20 minutes later, but later in the day for 20 minutes, which I didn't record that part. So in total it was about an hour and a half of editing and mixing. It took me about 2 hours to write the composition. So in total it's 3.5 hours. Now I've actually written this up into a document, into a challenge that you can take on, because actually the point of this video was to make it a challenge for the viewer to do themselves. And it's been a bit of a haphazard video because I sort of did it on a whim, really. I didn't think about it, I just jumped straight into it. So I thought to formalize it a bit more and to make it a bit more sort of digestible, I'd write up the challenge into a document, which you can see here. This sort of just lays out exactly kind of what the process is, in a bit more depth. I sort of write about my justification for the process, and I even break down how I would probably go about, the different stages of writing, the editing stage and the mixing stage in terms of minutes, so that it's not too overwhelming. And I made it a 4-hour challenge because I think even though I did it in about 3.5 hours, it's probably 4 hours seems probably more reasonable. I think with little tweaks here and there, it probably came out to be more like 4 hours. But that's it, it's done. I won't touch it further. In fact, I can show you now, I've uploaded it to Bandcamp. Never made a Bandcamp before, so this is the first song that's going on. It's done, it's there. I'll publish it when I publish this video. So yeah, I'm curious, did you do this challenge? And if you did, was it helpful? Did you write something? And if you did, can I hear it? Please comment below. Post it on the internet. I want to listen. I want to listen to what you've made, and I want to know if this process helped you. If putting these kind of constraints freed you in some sense, because that's the point really. It's to free you of the decision-making aspects of certain parts of the process that normally I find weigh me down. And the other thing I would love to know too is, what challenges do you face as a musician or a producer or even an artist with creating and finishing your art or your music or whatever? I want to know what people struggle with, because I'd like to explore those things more on this channel, and maybe try and help you and also help myself, because I'm sure that there are issues that I face as well. But yeah, I'm going to play the full song out at the end. And the reason I'm doing this is because my friend, who also runs a YouTube channel called Studio Brushpen, check him out. He does these awesome drawings in all these different styles. He said to me once that he finds it not annoying, but he wished that at the end of a video, when he's watching a musician, that they played the actual music that they were making, instead of sending people away from the video to click off it to listen to it. So I've made this thing. I'm gonna put it at the end, the whole song, and you can listen to it. So this is for you, David. Thanks for telling me that, and also all your support. He also comments on my videos a lot, and I appreciate it. But go check him out. His stuff is sick. He's super talented. So anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, enjoy the music. I'll see you in whatever I make next. Okay, bye.